can see what's going on with the class. Okay? One more check. I'm gonna mute you all. Lynn's with us. Hi, Lynn. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clearly.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you now.
And this is Linda, and I can hear you as well.
Great, Linda. Great. Okay, I'm muting everybody. All right. And here we go. So welcome, everybody. I'm Karen Martin, and this is going to be a full body gentle wellness yoga class. We're going to start on the floor, but there's options. You can also sit in a chair. If you want to sit on the edge of the bed, you can do it that way as well. We're going to warm up first in this position. I just want to look over and make sure I can see everybody, and I can. Great. So a few things right at the beginning. If you're brand new to yoga, make sure that whatever position we're doing or whatever stretch we're doing, nothing should hurt back. All right, sometimes you might feel an intense stretch, perhaps a group of muscles you haven't stretched in a while, but if you feel any discomfort to the point where you don't like it, stop, just lay on your back, relax. Because this is a very unusual way of teaching a yoga class, you could actually go to sleep, take a nap, leave, go get a drink, come back. I probably wouldn't even know. So take care of yourself, that's the point. If you have replacement parts, make sure that you follow your doctor's orders. Sometimes if you have a new hip, you're not supposed to cross midline, things like that. So just make sure you remember what your doctors told you. The other thing too is if there's anything that just feels awkward or uncomfortable for you, a great posture or asana to just relax in is just go on your back, extend your legs long, hands down by your side, and wait till the next posture comes up. Okay? All right. We're going to begin. So find a nice, comfortable seat. We call this Sukhasana, a nice, easy seat. Legs can be extended out. They can be tucked in. You could be sitting up on a bolster, whatever's comfortable for you. And we're just going to inhale our arms out to the side and up over our head. And as we exhale, bring those hands together in a posture we call Namaskar, or prayer position. It's called a mudra. And inhale up, exhale, hands in prayer position, thumbs over our heart space. We're going to do this twice more. Inhale up, and exhale once more. Inhale up, and this time flip those hands, press through the air, lengthen the spine. Bring the hands down to your knees. Think about having a nice long spine, perhaps a thread pulling the top of your head upwards, lengthening. And I want you to just close your eyes. And it's in this position, we're going to start with some breath awareness. Inhaling for X amount of counts, exhaling the same. So if you inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Whatever count you choose, even breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Do this a few times for yourself. As we begin to settle in, becoming aware as we inhale, the belly expands. And as we exhale, belly recedes. Still maintaining even breaths. And with your eyes still closed, set an intention for your practice today. It can be something very general, it can be something very specific. For example, I'd like my right hip to hurt less, or I'd like to feel more relaxed all over. An intention is a conscious decision. You can also send a dedication of healing out into the universe to someone, something, someplace, or even yourself. Your breath begins to deepen, perhaps a longer exhalation. Take another cycle or two of breath. And then just gently flutter open those eyes. Bring yourself back to the space. And we're going to interlace our fingers nice and tight. Press them outward, lengthening those arms. And just gently lift them up, elbows by the ears. And then release them and let those wrists just rotate. Little joint release here. We're going to do it again, but this time slip your fingers into one slot higher. Press through, lift, lengthening the two sides of the body, the waist, and then release it, rotating the wrists. We're going to drop our chin to our chest and let it float back up. And drop our chin, let it float back up. One more time. And let it float back up. Let's look over one shoulder. Take a breath here. And gently move over to the other shoulder. And come on back. And now we're going to take that left hand. I'm going to be your mirror today. Place it on the right shoulder and look away from it. And just take a cycle or two of breath here. And come on back, release it. Let's take the opposite hand to the opposite shoulder, look away. And then gently come back. We're going to drop that chin down once more. Interlace those fingers, place them on the back of the skull. And now as you exhale, press your head into your hands, your heart will lift, the elbows will broaden, and lift your eyes and chin upward. And release it. We're going to take that right arm, we're going to lengthen it up, and just press down in front. Let's do the other side. Let's lengthen up and press down. This time, we're going to take the length, stretch through the fingertips up, and then crawl the opposite hand out to the side. Spread the fingers wide, press down on the mat, and lengthen that elbow over the ear. And you get a nice deep stretch. To the other, oh, excuse me, other side. Sneeze. Spread the fingers, curl them out, lengthen over. Few breaths here. And as you stretch through the fingertips of that arm, think about rooting down through the hip, keeping both hips on the mat. And again, you can look down, you can look up, and you can look neutral. And release back up. We're gonna release our legs, bring them forward. Take a moment, just give them a bit of a massage, all right, a little blood flow. And then we're gonna bring the ankles in, but the opposite way, okay? And we're gonna take a gentle twist to the right. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. And here we're just going to breathe. So every time you inhale, think lengthening. And as you exhale, can you twist a little more? Twisting is very good for our digestive system. Very good for our spine. And gently unwind. And we're going to go the other way. So inhale first, exhale, twist. Nice, gentle twist. And what's nice is you can take your hand, place it on the outside of the knee for a contact point, so you have something to press against. Knee into hand, hand into knee. And just twist. And gently come on back. We're going to move the shoulders up, back, and down. One more time. And this time, bring our hands in prayer position for another shoulder asana or posture. You're going to press the palms of the hands together. And as you exhale, shift the forearm across an imaginary tabletop. Now you feel the stretch right here. Inhale, exhale, back through midline and over the other way. Let's try this again. Inhale and exhale through midline, pressing the palms together. And again. Feeling the stretch right here on the shoulder. And release it. We're going to inhale both arms up. And this time we're going to cross at the wrist, palms together. Okay? So if you can also be like this. That's fine. As you exhale, lengthen the arms, press them together, and you have an isometric stretch. You can feel the palms pressing together and release it. You should have felt a lot of activation in the arms. And let's cross the other way, okay? Palm to palm. Inhale, exhale, lengthen. Elbows up by the ears if you can. And as you lengthen, press the fingers together, palms together, press, 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 activating the arms, and release. Excellent. One more time, we're going to drop our ear or shoulder. And this time, same side hand is going to come up and over, fingertips right above the ear. You get a nice stretch here. We're stretching a group of muscles called scalenes. And what we're going to do is add the opposite arm, thumbs down. Arm comes out to the side. And if you let that arm drift behind you and slowly down, you'll feel even more of a stretch. So find the stretch your neck needs. And when we come out of this, we come out very slowly. We're going to release that top hand and help our head up and roll the shoulders. And ear to shoulder. That's the first part. And this might be enough for you. But if you want a little added stretch in the scalenes, add the hand very gently on top, up, right above the ear. And if you want to progress a little more, take the opposite hand out, thumb down, and then drift it behind you and down. And there'll come a point where you'll feel a little extra stretch. So we're creating a two-way stretch on the muscle. And release it, press up. And now we're going to shrug up, 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 hold it up. And as I count 3, release. 1, 2, 3. All right, come around to all fours. Now here's where, if you have delicate knees, you may want to double up your mat, or you can take a blanket or something and put it underneath your knees, just like this, especially if you've had a knee replacement, okay? So when we come to all fours, think about those hands spreading again. Make sure you see the floor, the mat, the towel beneath you. Shoulders are right over the wrists, and curl those toes underneath. I hope you can see me. I'm not sure you can anymore, but the toes are curled underneath. And then release them, flattening the top of the foot to the floor. Let's just do this a few times. I'm very careful with joints. I have arthritis, especially in my toes. So I take time to make sure that we get some blood flow going, some movement, some fluid. All right. If you need at any time to shake out a wrist, go right ahead. So hips are over knees, shoulders are over wrists. We're going to inhale, and as we do, we're going to look up. Our tail looks up. And as we exhale, lengthen the tail long behind you, tuck the chin, and come into a high upper body C curve. Inhale, reverse the curve. And exhale, high upper body C curve. We call this cat or Bitlasana. And the reverse is cow or Marshalasana in Sanskrit. Keep flowing through this, and let's just get some movement through the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Take one or two more for yourself. And then we're going to meet back in a nice tabletop. So from this tabletop, I'm going to have you drop down to one forearm, drop down to the other forearm. Your tail is up in the air. This is actually a modification of what they call puppy dog. So tail is up in the air, and I want you just to stretch or take your hips from side to side. Now, if this is not working for you, just stay up into our tabletop and take those hips around. Either way. And from here, we're going to take the knees wide, big toes together, and we're going to stretch our hips back towards our heels into our child's pose. Now, there's lots of hand variations. You can extend your arms long. You can bring fist on fist. These are just two. Find an upper body arm variation that you like. But what we're going to do is shift through our hips. We want movement in the hips. Take a few good deep breaths here. And then slowly come on up. Now, it's at this point I need to get off my knees a little bit, so let's bend one knee, lengthen it behind, and lift it up. Get off that knee and just take an ankle turn. Circle the foot at the ankle, little joint release here. And let's do the other side. Inhale, lengthen that leg behind you and just move through the ankle. So I'm making a circle. Or trying to. This is the ankle I've torn, so it doesn't circle all the way. And now we're going to take knee to nose once more, extend the leg back, lift it up, stretch through the heel, and add the opposite hand. We're going to add some core. Elbow to knee and extend. Elbow to knee and extend. Try one or two more for yourself. Just getting some activation going. And then place that hand down. Let's point the toe and cross that right foot over the left and take a look at it. So what you're doing is creating a side body stretch. And you can also turn the toes underneath. And if you'd like, you can drop down to your forearms and just explore, trying to see if you can get a little extra stretch in your hip. You can go back and forth between toes curled under and then pressing the top of the foot, stretching the ankle. And we are going to meet back in child's pose. So big toes together, knees as wide as the mat. And I am going to stack my hands on top of each other this time. So take a few breaths here. And each time, feel your hips. Just gently micro shift, east, west, north, south. And when you're ready, let's meet back into tabletop. So we are going to inhale the opposite knee in, extend it long, stretch through the heel. Now this is a great place to just check for yourself. Look down at your mat, lengthen the leg out, and then add the opposite arm. Now this might be enough for you today, or if you'd like to progress, inhale and exhale. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, lengthen. Take one or two more for yourself. And when you're ready, place that hand down right underneath the shoulder. Cross that foot over the opposite leg and take a look. I think you can probably see it a little bit more clearly. As you curl the toes underneath, you can stretch through the heel, the hip, or you can just stretch the top of the ankle. And when you're ready, we are going to meet back on our bellies. Prone Shavasana. One hand on top of the other. Forehead on your hands. And then we're just going to bend the knees, take some rotations at the ankle, and then just let those lower legs windshield wipe from side to side. What this particular posture does is release the lower back. So there should be no pain in the lower back here. All right, let's extend those legs out. Bring your hands right by your shoulders. Now, if you look from side to side, those fingertips should be at your shoulders, elbows in. We're just going to lengthen our body, pressing our hips down, lifting our heart up, and this is called a baby cobra. And if you can actually just release your hands because we're strengthening that lower back and release. Forehead down. So with baby cobra, as you exhale, press your hip bones down into the mat, lengthen forward. You just lift your heart, and then you can actually lift your hands. And release it. Curl the toes underneath, press back. And we are going to get ready for our first down dog of the day. So with downward facing dog, we lift our hips. We exhale our ears between our elbows. We keep our knees bent for the beginning so we can walk our heels down. We can move through our hips. If this is your first down dog ever, you feel like an inverted V. And then we're going to drop to one knee, drop to the other knee, and just press back into a child's pose. So we're going to connect our down dog with a few other postures. Come on back to tabletop. Spread the fingers so you really press down through the mat. Curl the toes, lift the hips up. Again, you can bend your knees, one foot down after the other. Take your time here. Think about length and space between the vertebrae. So from here, we're going to extend into a high plank. Our navel is pulled to the back of the spine. We can drop to one knee, drop to the other knee, and then slowly lower. Back into our baby cobra hands. Curl the toes underneath. Let's go right back up. We're creating a little heat in the body now. One more time, inhale, exhale. Take a breath or two. You can drop to one knee, drop to the other, slowly lower, and press back into our downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna walk our hands back, walk your feet forward, and you're just gonna hang over. Generously bend those knees. Shake out the shoulders, shake out the head, yes, no. And as you exhale, grab the elbows. This is called ragdoll. You can take it from side to side. Now we're going to slowly draw the hands up the front of the body. Chin stays tucked. We're going to uncurl one vertebrae after the other. Chin and head are the last things up. And you're standing in your mountain, Tadasana. All right. And we're up off the floor. Yay. I'm going to take a quick look. Everybody okay? Yes? Thumbs up? Yeah? Okay. So we're going to do some shoulder opener standing. One thing about mountain or Tadasana, look down at your feet, lift the toes, pull them up, okay? Spread them if you can, and try and place each toe down individually. Not easy, but let's give it a shot. And I talk about the 3 points of the foot, and that's between the big toe and the second toe, the pinky toe and the second toe in, and right in the center of the heel. When we ground through those 3 points, it's like a tripod. It keeps us very stable. We can find our balance. So press down through that tripod. We're going to lengthen the tailbone down, shoulders back and down. This is mountain. Now we're going to add arms, elbow, hand to elbow, Ajimajimi hands. This is what it reminds me of. And we're going to inhale, take those arms up, picture framing the head and all the way over. Inhale, exhale the other way. So what this does is begin to open up this part of the body, the shoulder girdle, not just the shoulder joint. Inhale and exhale, pressing through that tripod on the feet. You can take your time if you want to hang out at one area that feels a little bit tighter. Take a breath or two there and then try and move through it and take a few more for yourself. Each time trying to get the forearm or the upper arm by the ear. And release it. Excellent. All right. So just a little bit more, and I'm going to turn around for this one. So what we're going to do is take one arm right by the ear, okay? Drop it back, and I want you to press the side of your head into your arm. I'll do it this side now. So take it back, press the side of the head into the arm, press, 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 and release it. One more time. Inhale first, then press and release. And take it down. Let's do the opposite side. Elbow up, bend it, hand in between the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, press that inner arm against the face against the inner arm, and release it. And again, inhale and exhale and release. All right. So we're still working the shoulder girdle a little bit. One arm's going to come out, palm outward, and we're going to take it to the small of the back. So again, I'll turn around. Here we go. All right. So we have a posture called cow facing, Gomukhasana. This hand comes right to the small of the back. The other hand comes up, bends, and you're supposed to grab your fingers. But as you can see, I'm nowhere close. So that's why we do a lot of stretching to try and think about, can the fingers meet like this? I'm gonna look over, can anybody do it? I think Judy's doing it. Good job, Judy. Structurally, some people can do it, but not me. And release it, shake it out, and let's do the other side. So we want to bring that hand to the small of the back and up a little bit. It opens the shoulder, and then the opposite hand is going to come up, drop it back. You can see this side for me. Again, I'm nowhere close. You can grab clothes, you can use a strap, and release it. Now, take your feet a little wider. We're just going to swing our arms, palms up. Okay? Let the bottom half of your body just move with it. What we're doing is just trying to release a little bit of that shoulder girdle again. Now take it palm down. All right. Shake it out. The next arm variation is eagle arms. So we're going to take palms up, okay, thumbs facing back. And we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, that right arm is going to come on top, left arm on the bottom. So elbow comes right to elbow. Again, mind don't reach. What we're aiming for, or the journey is all about, stretching the shoulders down and getting the palms near each other, one on top of the other. Yeah, Judy can do it. So we're stretching the shoulders down. And let's release it. Palms up. Now this opposite side's going to go on top of the other elbow. And there we go. Take it down. Again, you feel the side of the shoulder here stretching. You should be stretching or feeling a bit of a stretch through the upper back. And release it. Those are eagle arms. All right. So let's take a few postures from the middle of the mat. All right. The first one is pyramid. So we're going to take a step back with your right leg. And if you look down, your feet are not on the same track. It's like railroad tracks. They're a little bit farther apart. Okay? Hips are facing the front of your mat. We're going to inhale those arms out to T. And then we're going to hinge from the hip here, lifting the heart, and just come forward. Come right to that nice flat back. And you start feeling all this energy underneath the leg. You can bring your hands down to the floor, either side of that front foot. And again, feel the stretch behind the leg and through the hips. Now, take the inside hand, leave it where it is. And if you can, just revolve the outside hand up. Stacking shoulder over shoulder. Take a breath or two here. Bring the hand back down. Now we're just going to bring our hands to our hips, lengthen out that spine, and try and rise. It's actually pretty challenging. Back foot to meet the front foot, and we're going to take the other side. So the first thing we do is we start in mountain, Tadasana. We take a step back, 2 straight legs, hinge from the hip, arms can come out to the side, lengthen forward, come to that flat back. You start feeling all that energy under the front leg. Bring your hands to either side of that front leg. Take a few breaths here, and then leaving the inside hand, or the same side hand as the back foot, revolve up. And again, we're trying to stack shoulder over shoulder. Bring it back down, just feeling that stretch. And bringing our hands to our hips, lengthen the body, and lift the torso up. Back foot meet the front foot. Okay? All right. So we're gonna take forward fold and halfway up. So we're gonna inhale our arms up, cross at the thumbs, lengthen up, and right here, take these hips and press them forward, opening up the heart to the ceiling, to the sky. And then inhale, back up, exhale, over into forward fold. Now with forward fold, you can definitely bend the knees generously once more. Keep the knees bent, you can shake out your head, or you can straighten your legs. Now we're gonna bend the legs, draw our hands up to the shins, stretch behind the knees, lengthening the legs, and we come into tabletop. We call this posture halfway up. And we're gonna fold over once more into forward fold. Legs can be bent or straight. One more time, halfway up, press into your shins, lengthen the spine. I had a teacher that used to say, you should be able to serve tea on your back. Lengthening the spine and then forward fold. And one more time, halfway up. Forward fold and slowly uncurl. Draw the hands up. Chin stays tucked. That and the top of the head last things up into our mountain. Okay, still working on those legs now. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the long edge of the mat. We're going to line the toes up with the long edge of the mat. So we're going to take to the right side first. We're going to turn on the heel, toes outward. Our hips are still facing the long edge. Back heel turns so that the front heel bisects the middle of the foot. All right? Let's inhale. Exhale the arms out to T. And we're going to come into a warrior two. Inhale. As you exhale, bend that front knee. We call this Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Now I'm just coming in and out of it, trying to see whether I need to get a little bit wider stance. The knee should be directly over the ankle. I'm going to take a wider stance here. There we go. Make sure you can spread the toes, place them back down. So this is warrior 2. You're strong. You have energy going from fingertip to fingertip. All right, you're pressing through that tripod of the feet. And now we're going to come into side angle. We're just going to move the arms. One arm comes up over the ear, the other arm bends and just comes to the thigh. And if you'd like, you can take that arm to the back or the front of the ankle. We're going to come back into warrior 2. And then slowly press up, turn the toes forward, heel toe yourself in, or jump if you're used to doing that, and come back to mountain. So that was warrior 2 and side angle. Spread our legs back out. This time take the other toes to the front of the mat, heel to the back of the mat. Inhale, exhale, bend that front knee. Now eventually, this thigh will be parallel to the mat. One day. There we go. Find your warrior 2, your strong warrior 2. Take a breath or two. This is a strengthening move. It's also a hip opener. And then just windmill the arms for side angle. Back into warrior 2. Press up, turn the toes in, and heel toe yourselves in. And back into mountain. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of balance. So spread those toes again. place them down. We're going to bring our hands up over our head. Hands come down just in Namaskar, prayer position, and all we're going to do is lift one leg, bending at the knee, and balance. Woohoo! So when we do any sort of balance work, let's shake that out, shake out your feet. You want to look at a spot that's not moving. You want to focus, or they call it find your own drishti. It's a focal point that you can look at and beyond. All right. Hands together. We're going to lift the opposite leg. Just a little balance here. Place it down. If you fall out of balances, just come back in. Release it down. And now we're going to try tree. So with tree, there's different levels of where the foot can be, but you always want to protect the knees. So I'm going to shift over to the right side, and with my left foot, take the toes to the floor. This is what I would call a level 1. You can bring the foot to the lower leg, or you can reach down and bring your foot all the way up. Let's inhale the hands in prayer position for a little contact. It helps. And find your tree, rooting down through that standing leg. And also allow the arms to lengthen. If you come out of it, come right back in. And release it. And you can also go to a wall. In the studio, I am often by the wall. Still need it. Use that wall as long as you need it. Just shift your weight over. Turn out from the hip. Tree posture, tree pose. Whatever tree, whatever balance you find, balance changes from moment to moment. And then bring your hands back down. Okay, we're coming back down to the floor. I like to spend the last 15, 20 minutes of a class doing restorative postures for the back, for the hips. So what we're going to do is just roll them down. Take your feet to the outer edges of the mat. Feel the edge. And we're just going to learn a posture called constructive rest. Let the knees fold in. Okay? So this is actually a posture I use for recovery a lot. I'll do a posture and I'll say then just let yourself relax into constructive rest. And that's what this is. It helps to realign the spine, reset the spine. Bring your legs back up and now let your feet come close to your sits bones, which are right at the top of the long leg bones. And just allow your knees to fold over one way. Inhale, exhale the other way. And what you're really thinking about is those outer edges of the feet. You're rolling on the pinky side of one, the thumb side of the other, and then you're rolling the other way. You feel a little bit of a stretch in the lower back, but we're actually working the ankle as well. Just from side to side. Come back to center. We're going to do a bridge. Have your hands down by your side, feet up by your sits bones or the tops of the long leg bones again. As you exhale, press down through that tripod on the foot, press down through the hands, and lift your hips. Now don't change your head in this position. Just look straight up at the ceiling. And then slowly lower one vertebrae after the other. Let that tailbone rock, create a little bit of a breezeway under the small of your back, and then flatten your back and lift your hips, press down and lift up. So we're going to do this twice more. Find the movement for yourself. Lift your hips up, pressing down, keeping your neck straight. And take one more. But we're going to add on here, pressing down through the feet. I want you to float the arms up and then over. So your elbows are by your ears again. They're on the floor. And this time, as you slowly lower one vertebrae after the other, stretch your fingers to the back wall or wherever your back is. So you have a two-way stretch. And then float your knees in, wrap your arms around your knees, float up. And you can take a little rock, a little massage. And extend out. All right. So we're going to do a posture next that you can do with your hand or you can use a strap. Pull your legs up first. I'm going to do it without the strap. 2 fingers between the big toe and the second toe. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and pull this leg towards your armpit, just to wherever it can go. It can be bent, okay? And then we're going to extend what I call the standing leg. Stretch through the heel. If you can, straighten that leg. And you can take this out to the side. You can take it up. And here's where we are going to release both hands out to T and take the leg all the way over for a big twist in the mid-back. So if you don't have a yoga strap at home, you can use a towel. You can use the tie from a robe or a piece of rope, the dog leash. Lots of things will work. But first we're stretching out the side of the back here, the twist, and then bring it back up and let the leg float back down. So if you have a strap, it would look like this. And without the strap, just hold on to the foot, or you can actually use 2 hands, just not right behind the knee. Go for the lower leg or the thigh. You can do it this way. Opening it up to the side. And the idea is we're focused on 2 hips into the mat. We're stretching our adductors, the inner thigh muscles. And this time, we're going to take the twist all the way. Just letting that twist happen all the way up. And when you're ready, come on back and just let that leg float down. So that twist is a wonderful stretch to do in bed before you get up. All right, heels come back to the sits bones. This is called reverse pigeon. It opens up the hips on the outside. Take your right ankle over the left knee. Now what you can do is just gently press on that inner thigh, very gently. You feel the hip move just a little bit, little stretch. But if you want to progress and more of a stretch, slide your hands behind the opposite thigh. Make sure your neck is nice and long. And as you exhale, pull that thigh towards your chest. And you feel the stretch on the hip where the knee is bent. ankle over the knee. So this is a wonderful way to do pigeon. We call it reverse pigeon. Take another cyclic tour breath here. And then place the foot down. Feet come back. And this is a nice place to do that constructive rest. Feet on the outer edges, let the knees come in. Reset the lower spine. And a few breaths here before we transition into the other side. Ankle over the knee, gently press open. Always trying to get length in the spine. And then sliding 2 hands between or behind the thigh. You can rotate here if you like. Lots of variations. What's important is that you listen to your body. You can stretch, you can move. And then we place it back down. This time, feet on the outer edges. And now we're going to take one knee straight down to the mat. And you get a stretch on the front of the hip. Always a few good deep breaths. I like to think at least 3 breaths. And then the other side. So you drop the inside of the leg, the knee, right down to the center line of the mat. And again, your foot has rolled to the edge. We call it the knife edge of the foot. And back. All right, let's extend our legs out one last time. Give them a little bit of a shake. And now we are going to get ready for our final posture. So our final posture is called Shavasana. It's deep relaxation. There's a couple ways to actually have your body. You can bring your heels close together, toes fall out, hands face up, halfway between knees and hips. This is your traditional Shavasana. You can tuck blocks underneath your knees if you'd like. Or if you don't have blocks at home, use pillows about the same height or even books. And you take a little bit wider legged Shavasana. This really helps to release the lower back if you have a very tight back. You can have your legs up a wall if you want, which would just be like this up against the wall, or you can have your legs in constructive rest. Whatever's comfortable for you. And I want you just to shut your eyes. And now I want you to breathe, but try and deepen your breath. With every exhalation, you're going to inhale, deepening the exhalation a little bit farther. A little bit deeper. Let your eyes shut. Keep your attention on your breath. And every time you exhale, begin to count down from 10. So inhale, exhale, 10. Inhale, exhale, 9. Keep going. If you lose your place, just begin again. If you get to 0, start again. Inhaling and exhaling. Bring your attention back to your bottoms of the soles of your feet now. And we're going to scan up through the bottoms of the soles of the feet, through the ankles, through the lower legs, and just ask yourself in your mind's eye, how do I feel? How do my ankles feel? How do my shins feel? My knees? Just in your mind's eye, scan up through your body, just checking in with yourself. Seeing if there's any body parts that still feel like there might be tension or stress. And when you get to the very top of your head, allow your hands to just come to your belly and your chest. And now I want you to feel your breath as you breathe. As you inhale, the belly expands. The breath pulls up underneath your collarbones. And as you exhale, collarbones, ribs, belly recede. So pay attention to the feeling of the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Almost as if it's a 3-part breath. Inhale, belly expands, ribs expand, collarbones expand. Exhale, collarbone recedes, ribs knit together, belly recedes. Take a few more, feeling how the breath moves. And now I invite you once more to bring back your intention for your practice today. Was it something specific? Was it something general? Perhaps you sent a dedication of healing out into the world to someone specific, globally, perhaps to yourself. And on the next cycle of breath, just begin to activate the fingers, letting them move and rotate, letting the toes move and rotate, sending energy up through the limbs. And this energy will roll you over to a sleeping position, a fetal position. You can pillow your head on your arm if you'd like. Taking a few more good deep breaths before you press yourself up back to a seated posture. Take your time. So let's inhale those arms up over our head. Exhale, press the air away, almost as if you're pressing through water. Inhale up. One more time, flip the hands, press through, lengthening the spine. Last time, inhale up, bring your hands together, let them float down, hands over your heart space. I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to share your practice today. This is so new, doing this online. I so appreciate you being here. At the end of class, we say namaste, which means the divine in me honors and salutes the divine in you. Namaste. Thank you. And if you'd like, unmute yourselves and we can say hello. Hello.
Hi, it was a
Hi,
great
can you
class.
all hear me?
Yes, it was a great class. We thank you.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's taken us a few classes to work out the problems. Who is with me? Let's see. Judy, Linda. Linda, are you still there? Linda was with me in one of my first classes. I'm learning so much about this technology. So, hi, Judy. If you have any, anything in yoga or stretching that you'd like to work on, send me an email or text me. You have my phone number and my email. For example, I'd like to work on neck stretches. I'd like to work on lower back, and I can focus a class around that. Right now, my schedule is Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 1:30 till the gym opens again in the rec centers. Okay?
Very
Okay.
good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I gotta get in the camera. And ultimately, these, hopefully are recorded. I'll put this up on my YouTube station, which is Karen Martin Wellness. You can just subscribe and you can see the video.
No, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Jane. Bye, Lynn.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Judy. See you in the hood.
Okay.
The lady I did.
I'm gonna end the meeting now. Whew.
I hope it worked.